In a time where gender equality and empowerment has taken center stage, it is important to recognize and honor women pioneers who have broken barriers and redefined what is possible. Welcome to TECNO Phantom V Flip 5G presents Women Pioneers of India in association with Republic TV, where we honor these trailblazing women and the incredible impact they've had on the world. Today we have with us India's first woman who's won a medal at the Paralympic Games. She's a Padmashree Awardee, an accomplished motivational speaker, an advocate for accessibility and inclusivity. She's not just an athlete, but an epitome of courage and perseverance. Let's take a look at DEEPA Malik's inspirational journey.
Meet Deepa Malik, whose journey has been nothing short of extraordinary. Her life took a turn when at the age of 36, she was diagnosed with a spinal tumor, but she didn't let adversity define her. Instead, she redefined herself. She emerged as a Paralympian, scripting history by becoming the first Indian woman to win a Paralympic medal.
TV. Before we deep dive into this conversation, let's do a quick rapid fire round. Morning person or night owl?
Morning person.
Beach vacation or mountain adventure?
Mountain adventure.
One place you want to travel to?
Nalanda.
If you could have dinner with any one historical figure, who would that be?
Mother Teresa.
What's your go-to snack before a game?
Gud chana.
Good chana, okay, interesting. One thing on your bucket list outside of sports?
I want to fly a plane.
Wow. If not an athlete, what would you have been?
Poetess.
You write.
I write.
Wonderful. So before we end this episode, you must recite one of your poems to us.
I will.
Wonderful. One word that describes your journey as a Paralympic athlete.
Passion.
Describe the feeling of standing on the Paralympic podium for the first time in one word.
Grateful.
Lastly, best piece of advice that you've ever received.
Life is the only festival that can be celebrated every day.
I must say that has gone off brilliantly, and on that note, we have a detailed conversation about your story, your life, Deepa. So, how do you view your journey at this point? And today, when you have to tell your story, how do you say it?
If I have to sum it up in one line, it has been a journey of discovering abilities beyond disability. So that has been the journey, and not only in just my point of view, trying to discover who I am in this new body, because I wasn't born with disability. Due to tumors, I became chest below paralyzed. So living with chest below paralysis, with so many taboos around this particular type of disability where you don't have bladder and bowel control, you are a woman, you're a mother of two, and you're a homemaker, and so many stereotypical doubts and taboos surround you. And I had to stop those external voices and discover who I was in my own eyes, and not just in my own eyes, also wanted to tell the world that I'm still the same person emotionally, mentally. Physically, I may be a little different, but my soul is not paralyzed. But these simple things of what I wanted to wear, how to wear, where to travel, what transport to take, they were also becoming a question mark. And that's when I decided that I have to tread on a path of discovery, which is not just about me, but it should also become a journey of changing a few mindsets and breaking a few barriers.
Exactly how you've put it, today you've carved a journey for yourself that millions can't even imagine to do. And it may be about watching a movie, holding that popcorn, but what you have achieved, and which is why you must tell your story of what you went through in 2006 and when you were finally on the victorious side in 2016.
I was craving for any medium that came my way to prove my abilities, to change the point of view of people about a woman who was on a wheelchair. So I started off by first making myself financially empowered. So a small restaurant project is what I did. Sports, I think, was one of the best things I chose to do. It was again very, very different and new, because a woman who's 36 years old is going to go out and play. You say, oh, she's a mother of two, it's her children's age to play. But I'm glad I heard my inner voice more than the voices around me, and started off as a swimmer, but could not continue that to a very high level, because the cold water in the swimming pool, I wasn't getting heated swimming pools round the year. So I completed a record by crossing river Yamuna, so that I could establish that yes, if I took to swimming, I have completed it wholeheartedly. I took to javelin throw at the age of 40. Commonwealth Games 2010 brought me to the capital. That's when again I closed down my restaurant business and took to professionally playing sports. That meant I had to leave home, I had to leave children, I had to close down a business, I had to step out of my comfort zone to look for a wheelchair accessible accommodation, a physio, a nurse. So everything was a struggle at that point of time. How to sustain your training, how to buy the expensive equipment. So from there to today, when I sit in front of you as the president of the Paralympic Committee of India, I'm so happy that it has been one journey where I've been able to win every medal. At least Commonwealth, I could earn a diploma, may not be a medal, but there's not a single big event that I have not played at a very unconventional age, and have been able to bring home the first athletics Asian medal, the first world championship medal, and the first Paralympic medal across any sport for my country, and been able to also contribute to policy making, because that was more important than playing. If you ask me, am I an athlete? I would rather call myself a sports activist, who even today in my leadership role, I'm continuously battling for better policies, better infrastructure, better support for the para athletes. And I'm very fortunate that today we have a government and a leader in Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, who is first hand, it is his first hand directly in touch with the athletes, talking and learning about their progress, congratulating them when they're winning, taking an accountability of the fundings that is being provided to them.
You know, most people want to reach a phase in their 40s where they are more or less settled, and their life has reached a point where they know where it's headed. Whereas in your case, you started a life after 40, and to be able to conquer the obstacles and challenges of this level and to constantly drive your mind to stay positive, how did you do that?
I think my purpose was very strong. The passion combined with a purpose, and when the purpose is beyond yourself, it becomes a purpose in the line of nation building, because when you want your new India to become inclusive India, you want the whole definition of disability to change for people to understand and talk about accessibility, and not just accessibility in infrastructure. I feel accessibility in their mindsets, the acceptance that people are different, everyone is different. For me, it has become very close to my heart because I have a daughter also who suffered her share of disability. So a person with disability bringing up a child, a girl child in disability.
Tell us more about your family, what it was like before marriage, what it became after marriage, the role that they played in your journey.
See, no success is achieved alone. So I was fortunate to have a family which accepted my disability and has always been very supportive. But my journey has been so out of the box that sometimes even they were doubtful. I wanted to close down a restaurant, come to Delhi to play at 40, and they thought that it's just, you know, one of those a short time spurt of excitement that I wanted to live, and they never thought that my journey is going to take such a serious turn. So there was a disbelief at some point of time, but I'm very fortunate that my daughters never left my side. We had a role reversal. Normally mothers, dress up, bathe children, take them out to play. Here my daughters were changing my diapers, were getting me ready. There has also been competitions in which we as a mother-daughter duo played for India. And we are the only mother-daughter duo in the world in disability sports who played together. So, it's been a very different journey.
Like you very briefly mentioned, it is one thing to fight stereotypes with the outside world, and it is one thing to fight stereotypes in your own home.
Yes.
You must tell your story because it is hugely inspirational for all those who may be battling it somewhere in some corner, but they don't know how to come out of it.
See, when I became paralyzed, my husband was an army officer and I was very brave. He was at the Kargil war and I never really cribbed about being alone during the time of the surgery, facing the initial days of paralysis alone. It hurt me when he left army, and he left army purely because people told him that now Deepa is almost as good as a dead body. Where is he going to take her around? It's a transferable job. You get posted to remote areas, border areas. You will never get that accessible accommodation, and it's going to be very difficult. So instead of thinking about solution and ways, see, today also I travel a lot. Practically 20 days in a month I'm on a travel. So there was nobody talking about learning. It was more about making me comfortable in the circumference of stereotype. From outside, everybody felt that I was really being looked after, how lucky I was. My in-laws are still keeping me. My husband has not left me. But all that was making everybody else a hero. And I was the one because of whom, this whole change had happened. People crave for looking after. For me, I was only becoming more dependent in a way that I had lost my own self-esteem and confidence. So that was a time it was like a takeoff into a world of unknown with a lot of fear of unknown. So yes, it was challenging, but I became a person of solutions. So it was very crazy actually. I took to motorsports because nobody was funding para sports. Motorsports was still popular. So all the money that I would get for my biking or for my motor rallying or creating records in driving across high altitude, etc., would save money from there and use it to play sports.
There is so much I want to ask you about your life and of course want to know about so many other aspects, but we have to slip into a very short commercial break right now. You're watching TECNO Phantom V Flip 5G presents Women Pioneers of India in association with Republic TV. This conversation continues on the other side. Do stay tuned. Flip 5G presents Women Pioneers of India in association with Republic TV. We are in conversation with Deepa Malik. And you know, Deepa, while I'm sitting here, I feel so inspired in this space, watching all your achievements. Sometimes, you know, when you sit here and you just walk by, do you get that feeling that I have silenced all my critics? You know, all those who came after me, here's my answer.
I think I'll put it in another way. You're saying silenced my critics. Every time I pass through this or I look at them, I convey a silent gratitude, a word of thanks to my critics. You know, there has been times when I shifted from javelin to shot put for my Paralympic preparation. Even the coaches had a doubt that a 46-year-old woman will not be able to do it. So the critics have always inspired me to learn more, to become a better version of myself. मैं सीखती चली गई और मैं जीतती चली गई. और हर जीत, every win had a value addition, not just for myself, but I'm more proud that I could give back to my country or give back to my society.
I've always been a firm believer and have advocated for accessibility and inclusivity. How can we make the world more inclusive according to you?
It will always start कि मैं क्या कर सकता हूँ या कर सकती हूँ. If every person takes on the basic responsibility of ensuring that the surroundings where they live or where they work, is that place accessible for everyone? Today you read the building codes, everything has a proper policy around accessibility. At one point of time during your life journey, every person, at least once in their lifetime, becomes in some way a person with disability. You know, whether you take it as a temporary illness, a fracture, an accident.
Deepa, you have insisted on the use of technology and how that aids us. But really to understand from you how that also helps in shattering the traditional gender biases and, you know, how does that help today's woman to take control of her life?
See, we often talk about, the women empowerment. I feel every woman should educate herself and at least hone one skill. कोई एक हुनर वो सीखे जिसमें वो पारंगत हो, जिसमें वो अपना रोल नेशन बिल्डिंग में दे सके. To make your voice heard, and to make your voice heard, you have to upgrade, get educated, and today's education definitely involves a lot of knowledge of technology. We have seen in pandemic, those who had these skills to be able to use information technology have done better, they have performed better because the entire world went digital. The first mistake that I made was I sometimes felt that the ignorance of understanding a disability, of solutions around disability, I took it as arrogance. So I was very angry with my husband for some time because he said that he could only do this much, and he didn't believe that I'll be able to play initially, and did not come with me to the capital city where I pursued my career. So there was a lot of anger. But today when I look back, I think that was a mistake, and now I have rectified it. We are the best of friends again, and the anger is gone. I wish I had explored these avenues much earlier. But फिर जिस दिन जीत की तैयारी करी, देर आई पर दुरुस्त आई. बहुत वक्त लग गया ये कविता लिखने में और अपने आप को कहने में कि कदमों को रुकना मंजूर न था, राहें और भी तो है, तय तो करना है तो क्यों न हंसकर, ज़िंदगी एक सफ़र ही तो है. तो क्यों मैंने 6-7 साल लगा दिए, और यही मैं चाहती हूँ कि जैसे ही किसी को अचानक कोई डिसेबिलिटी हो या कोई ऐसी बात हो, तो इतनी अवेयरनेस हो हमारे देश में इतनी सारी opportunities हों for the person with disability to choose from. There is no one whose life is a smooth line, and in any case, a straight line is a kind of a representation of somebody being dead. Even a heartbeat goes up and down.
You've seen the highs, you've seen the lows, and as we near the end of this show, what is the message that you give out to people today? And you must recite a poem that you've written.
Okay, so I think I'll just narrate my message in my poetry only, because this poem was dedicated to my parents, especially my father, who's no more. And he would always tell me, whenever I had these lows, to bring me to the high, would say, "Arey, tum apna naam to suno, it's Deepa. And it's always better to light a lamp than to curse the dark." So dedicated to his memories, I had written a poem. And the few lines, the closing lines of the poem are something like this. आग की ज्वाला सा, आग की ज्वाला सा, ज्योति के उजाला सा, दीपा रखा है मैंने नाम तुम्हारा, जीवन के किसी संघर्ष से डर न जाना, दीपा बेटी मेरी तुम सदा, उम्मीद का एक नया दिया जलाना.
I just want to say that every time I meet you, I just experience so much joy. And today again, it's been so inspiring. No matter how many times I hear your story, it's less.
Thank you.
I want to thank you once again for
Thank
being
you.
on our show. Deepa, it has always been a pleasure to meet you. And every time I talk to you, I just feel so inspired. But we can't end this show without taking a selfie.
Sure.
Let's do it. Needless to say, Deepa Malik is not just a name, but a source of endless inspiration. And let her story be a reminder of the determination and perseverance that you need to break all barriers. On that note, we end this episode, and we'll come back with the promise that we get you another interesting voice on TECNO Phantom V Flip 5G presents Women Pioneers of India in association with Republic TV. Thank you so much for watching.
That it has been one journey where I've been able to win every medal. At least Commonwealth, I could earn a diploma, may not be a medal, but there's not a single big event that I have not played at a very unconventional age, and have been able to bring home the first athletics Asian medal, the first World Championship medal, and the first Paralympic medal across any sport for my country, and been able to also contribute to policy making, because that was more important than playing.